Welcome to the Tarnished Hearth, my friends. Pull up a seat, warm your hands by the fire, and let me tell you about the time I almost burned down the entire Tarnished Hearth. On the one night everyone was counting on me most. It was my first autumn as keeper of this place. The previous owner, old Dervin, had passed that spring, and he'd left the hearth to me in his will. Why? Still don't rightly know. But I was determined to prove I was worthy of it. So when the harvest feast came round, I told myself, "Thorgrim, lad, this is your chance. Show 'em what you're made of." I planned a feast fit for a king. Roasted boar, 3 kinds of bread, honeyed roots, spiced ale, the works. And I was going to do it all myself. Now here's the thing about running a kitchen alone when you got the pride of a mountain and the patience of a wet cat. It don't go well. The bread burned. Not just the first batch, the second and third too. Turns out, when you're also basting a boar and stirring 3 pots of stew, ye forget about the oven. The ale barrel I'd rolled out that morning cracked, started leaking all over the stone floor, turning the whole place into a slippery mess. And then the stew boiled over, straight into the hearth. Smoke starts pouring out, thick and black, filling the main hall like a dragon's been napping in the rafters. I'm coughing, swearing, throwing open shutters, and that's when I hear it. Voices outside. The guests were arriving. I panicked, friend, full-on wild-eyed panic. I threw a cloth over the burned bread, tried to mop up the ale with my cloak, waved a poker at the smoke like that'd do anything. And when the first group walked through that door, a family of farmers with their 3 wee ones, they stopped dead in their tracks. The place looked like a battlefield. I stood there, covered in soot, one eyebrow singed clean off, holding a ladle like a sword, and I couldn't speak. The father looked at me, looked at the smoke, looked at his wife, and then he started laughing. Not mocking laughter, real, deep belly laughter. The kind that shakes your whole frame. "Thorgrim," he says, wiping his eyes, "you look like ye fought the feast and lost." His wife stepped forward, took the ladle from my hand and said, "Right then, where's your apron? I'll handle the stew." And that's when it happened. One by one, people kept arriving. A trader who'd been coming here for 20 years took one look at the boar and said, "That's not basted right. Step aside, lad." An old elven woman saw the bread situation, sighed and rolled up her sleeves. "I'll make flatbreads, quick and simple." A young couple brought vegetables from their garden. Someone else ran home and came back with a wheel of cheese. Even the kids helped, carrying mugs and plates, laughing at the smoky chaos of it all. I tried to protest, tried to say, no, this is my responsibility. I can fix it. But the farmer put a hand on my shoulder and said, "Thorgrim, a hearth isn't just a fire, lad. It's the people gathering round it. Let us in." By the time the sun set, the hall was full. The food, it wasn't perfect. The flatbreads were a bit uneven. The stew was thicker than I'd planned. The boar was, well, let's just say it had character. But I'll tell you this, friend, I've hosted 100 feasts since then, some with fancier food, cleaner floors, and fewer disasters. But none of them, not a single one, has ever felt as warm as that night. Because it wasn't my feast, it was ours. The burned bread became a running joke. People still bring it up, years later. Remember when Thorgrim tried to do it all himself and nearly smoked us out? And I laugh. Because I learned something that night that no amount of pride or perfection could have taught me. Gratitude isn't found in perfection, friend. It's found in the hands that help you up when your knees are deep in ash and failure. The best feasts aren't the ones where everything goes right. They're the ones where people show up anyway, roll up their sleeves, and turn your disaster into something worth remembering. So if you're out there today, trying to carry it all alone, worrying that you're not enough or that things aren't going as planned, let people in. Let them help. Because the hearth doesn't burn bright because of one flame. It burns because we tend it together. If this story warmed your heart, do me a favor, hit that like button. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment below. Tell me about a time someone showed up for ye when you needed it most. I read everyone, and I promise your stories matter. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Tales from the Tarnished Hearth. There's always a seat at this table, and the fire's always burning. Now go on, gather your people, share your feast, even if it's a little smoky. Stand tall, burn bright, and never let the world decide your worth for you.